In this video, we're going to be talking about creating wealth through property investing and adding value to your own home or your investment properties yourself. I'm a big fan of hard yakka and adding value through renovations, and my channel is about real estate, renovating, and financial freedom. If you enjoy any of my videos and you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe down below and drop a like on this video. But let's dive in and talk about the TikTok disasters that young Australians are experiencing on their own homes. So what are they doing and what's going wrong? Now, disaster TikTok trend ruining Australian homes. Homeowners are learning the hard way that cutting corners and taking the wrong renovation tips from social media can be a costly exercise. And the mistakes often involve white paint. Well, that's quite funny because I think I've made a lot of money through white paint. It's actually probably the biggest value add that Emily and I have done on every single property we've purchased. We use the colors white on white. I'm giving away my secrets. We actually use white on the ceilings and white on the walls. Now, the reason we do that is because we spray everything with a paint sprayer. And I am not someone who wants to paint by hand. And so when you're renovating an entire home like we've done here, and on every previous project that we've done, we've had the space cleared out and we can paint the entire home in one go. What that means is you do white on the ceilings and white on the walls. Obviously, you're using ceiling paint and wall paint tinted to that color, but it means you don't have to cut in the corners, which are these areas up here. And this takes a lot of time if you do it by hand. So I'm a big fan of white paint. So let's see what the problem actually is. Although many reality TV shows and TikTok influencers suggest DIY painting is the most cost-effective way to minimize makeover bills, well, I think it probably is the most cost-effective way, professional tradespeople are seeing an uptick in homegrown mishaps, renovation regrets, and divided online opinions. One trend is millennial homeowners inspired by social media painting every aspect of their homes white. The widespread trend of home makeover TikTokers whitewashing homes has also divided followers, with a range of online commentators lamenting the millennial homeowner obsession with painting houses white, attracting millions of comments about painting fails. Now, why am I a big advocate for painting everything white? Well, the reason is we're renovating for profit and we're looking to add value in a fast way. And so when you're buying an investment property, light, white, and bright are the general terms you want to use because you want to appeal to the most people. And if no one has an objection to white, oh, it's just white, okay, it's boring. But a lot of people might have an objection if you paint the walls purple or green or yellow. So that's why we do white in our renovations. When you're renovating for an investment property, light, white, and bright is great. In your own home, sure, have as much color, have black walls, have pink walls, have whatever you want in your own home. But when it comes to investing and adding value in a fast way, I like the strategy of painting things white. So I'm probably contributing to this TikTok rush of whitewashing out Australian homes. Now, they discovered that 69% of Australians surveyed did admit to increasingly turning to DIY to try and save money at the moment. And they're getting themselves into a bit of trouble. A further 61% of those people agreed it's a false economy. It actually turns out to be more expensive in the long run because of DIY disasters. Now, you've got to have a go. Like, tradies are so expensive at the moment. I've gotten quotes recently for some concreting at the front of my place, and we got 6 quotes to do this small job. We're doing a set of landings and we're doing a strip of concrete down the side of the home. Now, you would not believe the difference in quotes that we got. We got 6 quotes. The highest quote was $32,000. The cheapest quote was about $15,000. And then everything in between, 15, 16, 18, 24, 27, and 32. That was the range of quotes we got from tradies to do some basic concreting landings and a pathway down the side of our house. So of course people are turning to DIY because it's just so expensive to get trades at the moment. If you've got the money and you've got a high net worth area and it can support spending the money on those trades, then by all means go for it. But most Australians, when you're starting out, you're working a 9 to 5, you've saved your pennies to buy your own home or an investment property, you might need to turn to some DIY to fast track your journey. I look back on my journey as a renovator the last 5 or 6 years, and we've renovated a house every year the last 6 years. And through that, we were able to fast track our wealth creation. We were able to create equity faster by taking on DIY projects. If I hadn't done that, I wouldn't be where I am today. So I don't think we should discourage Australians from having a go and taking on some DIY. And yes, in the worst case scenario, you could always hand it over to a tradie if you do really have a disaster on your hands. The average person who's relatively handy can do a satisfactory job in painting their house. But if you do want the job to look brilliant, it's a good idea to bring the professionals. Number 2 on the list was landscaping and gardening. Number 3 was plumbing related jobs. 4th was people trying their hand at cabinetry, and rounding out the top 5 was tiling jobs, which I think is incredibly brave. So that's a really interesting list. So ranking the 5 DIY based on this article, we've got painting, landscaping, some plumbing jobs, cabinetry and tiling. Now I've tried all of these 5 different jobs, and definitely painting and landscaping are the easier ones on the list. When you're moving to plumbing, cabinetry and tiling, I'd maybe have a go at that cabinetry. You can have a crack at that yourself. But if you've got the money, I would be paying for a tiler and a cabinet maker, or at least someone to put flat packs together, rather than me taking that on myself these days. If I was starting out and I had no money, all the 5 of those jobs are still in most people's wheelhouse if you're willing to have a go. And as I say to my dad, watch a YouTube video, Dad. If you don't know how to do it, watch a YouTube video and try and learn. I think people are scared of trying to learn these new trades because these articles and these tradies want you to pay them. They want you to go through the professionals, but you've got to pay the price to do that. It might look fast and easy to do, but with a camera, you can make anything look good. If you want to do it yourself, just do the right research and get your information from actual professional painters, not influencers. Most of us tradies, we're happy to give advice and help people out because we know everyone is going through a hard time at the moment. What you don't want to have is to pay for the job to be done again. So it's all about balance. It's all well and good to say pay the tradies, but you've got to have the money. And if you're watching my channel, you're probably looking to create wealth for yourself and your family and working towards a better future with more choices. It's not about having fancy homes or cars or watches. For me, investing and buying property and building a portfolio was about creating more choices and more time with my kids and my wife. And so I've got 2 young boys who are under 3 years of age, and I get to work from home and spend time with them. And doing these renovations for a year, every year over the last 6 years has allowed me to create this lifestyle that I have today. And it's an absolute blessing. So don't be scared or turned away by articles or people saying you can't do it. You can have a go. The Australian dream is still real, whether it's your own home or whether it's an investment, you can absolutely have a crack. And in the worst case scenario, you can always come back to the professionals and spend a bit more of your budget on getting the tradies to fix up your mistakes. But if you don't have a go, how will you ever learn? To close this out, I want to go all the way back to 2017 before Emily and I had even bought our first property. We got almost all of our deposit together. I was working as an auditor in the city, chatting to my co-workers about being a property investor and wanting to grow a sizable property portfolio. And we were talking about renovations and they said, Luke, how on earth are you gonna tackle the painting and put together a kitchen and tile the bathrooms? You have no idea how to do that. And my response was, well, I've got nothing to work on, so how would I know unless I try? And until you've got a project in front of you, how are you gonna learn how to tile? If you haven't got a bathroom to work on, then you've got nothing to work with. So have a go at it if you're willing to, and always you can use the tradies as a backup. If you want to see my top 10 tips on renovating for profit to create wealth, then make sure you click this video over here. And if you want to head over to purposeproperty.com.au, we have a course for sale that's less than $1,000 that can help you build your own multi-million-dollar property portfolio. Thanks for sticking around. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.